Eric, let's talk about your forthcoming concert in Cardiff. Wales, a country with a fantastic choral tradition as well. So how much are you looking forward to this one?
Oh, it's so much. I mean, possibly the greatest choral tradition in the world. I did a concert there several years ago with Cardiff, one of the choirs that will be performing on this concert. And I'll never forget, at the end, we sang a simple Welsh hymn, and I turned to the audience to include them, and before I could even turn, the entire audience sang in perfect four-part harmony. I've never experienced anything like that.
It's compulsory to be able to sing,
yeah,
if you're Welsh, I think. Talk me through the programme and the pieces that people can expect to see and hear that night.
So we'll begin with a string orchestra transcription that I made of a piece, a choral work called Water Night, a piece that I wrote, 20 years ago. But in the string version, it takes on a different color, I think. So we'll start soft and delicate and then immediately launch into Orawa by Wojciech Kilar, which for me is one of the great percussive string pieces. It's my favorite driving music of all time. We'll do some of my more delicate, intricate choral works, and we'll end the first half with a piece called Godzilla Eats Las Vegas. Godzilla Eats Las Vegas was it's the most ridiculous piece. It's exactly like the title sounds, but imagine full orchestra, full chorus, and I wrote it with the idea that I was making the score to a very, very bad B movie. So the movie doesn't exist, but there's literally a script that the audience follows cut by cut, and Godzilla rampages, destroys Vegas, steps on Wayne Newton, steps on Liberace. An army of Elvises come, army of Elvi come to save the day. Godzilla scares them away, and then yeah, it's madness.
We get the feel for that one. Later on, you're premiering a new work.
Yes, that's right. Then in the second half, we'll begin a piece that I'm writing right now called Bachianos Americanos. It was inspired by the Villalobos pieces Bachianos Brasileiros, where he took and saw Bach through the prism of the Brazilian experience. And so my idea was to take Bach and see it through the American experience. And so it sounds, it's very percussive. There's influences of Steve Reich and John Adams, Philip Glass. So it's minimalist. It's kind of a deconstruction of the chord changes from the C minor prelude from the Well-Tempered Clavier.
And then Deep Field.
Deep Field, that's right. We'll end it. This was a piece that we premiered, the Royal Philharmonic and I, last year at the Proms concert that we did together. And my hope was to paint the magnitude of the deep field image, which is a photo taken by the Hubble telescope, showing this group of 3,000 galaxies nearly at the edge of our known universe. It's this extraordinarily humbling photograph to look at. And the orchestra plays this deliberately slow, unfolding, huge music that finally climaxes. The organ is playing. It's quite visceral. As the piece comes down, I turn to the audience, I give a downbeat, and everyone in the audience on their smartphones has already downloaded an app that I've made, and they push play at the same time. I give them the cue, they push play, and unfolds on their phone a video, a fly-through of the galaxies themselves, so that you feel you're in space, you see it. And then from each phone is this shimmering, delicate electronica that fills the hall with this sound. The choir wraps the audience standing behind them. so that you really feel like you're floating in the middle of this image.
All of which leads me to a description I read of you this morning, that you, quote, take the classical music world by storm. do you recognize that description?
I don't do it intentionally.
You don't do it deliberately?
No, it's not that I wake up and think, how can I tear this thing apart? For me, how to describe it? I'm not an actor, but I love the actor's analogy of everything in the room is a prop, right? So if it's there, it's to be used. It's not to be ignored. So for instance, with Deep Field, several years ago, I was sitting in a concert and they made the announcement, they do before all classical concerts, please make sure your cell phones are off. And I suppose I have sort of an infantile response to authority anyway. And so I questioned it and thought, why are we silencing? As it turns out, we've got 2,000 video players here and we're asking everybody to turn them off and put them in their pocket. So I just asked the simple question, well, what if we use those things? So all of these things where I'm taking it by storm, it's not that I'm trying to deconstruct it, it's just I suppose I'm looking, what are the props available, and well, let's use them.
Well, enjoy Cardiff. Thank you very much.
I can't wait. Thank you so much.